Hello and welcome to 2023. To be fully transparent, well, not like that. Don't take it literally. I am recording this at the end of 2022, so I don't really know what's coming in 2023, but since this video is supposed to be published at the very beginning of 2023, let's just hope nothing major happened. Dear 2023, please take a note from your older siblings, I guess, and don't give us the same crap all over again. I think we've had enough. I think I speak for everyone when I say we have had enough. So today I wanted to make a video about my 2023 Hoya wish list, or rare Hoya wish list. All of the Hoyas from this list are pretty uncommon. I would not really say they are rare because they are not. You can purchase most of them. I will actually tell you which one of these you can buy and which I have not yet seen being sold. That does not mean that we are not going to see them being sold in 2023, like fingers crossed that they can be added to our collections, but they are definitely not your everyday Hoyas. And all of these Hoyas are something that I think collectors will want. I mean, maybe even the regular Hoya folk, because they do have beautiful flowers and some of them have adorable leaves, but they're not variegated. They are not with veiny leaves, so they are really for, someone who is really hardcore into Hoyas. Someone like me. And I hope someone like you. This is like, let's refine our Hoya taste, shall we? First Hoya on this list is Hoya pulleana. And this is a Hoya that has actually been published this year. Well, actually, I forgot that we are in 2023. So this was published late 2022, and this is a Hoya that you can actually buy. And there are two Hoyas on this list, this being one of them, that kind of look similar when it comes to leaves, but they are different species, and one of them is, I still believe, unpublished. But Hoya pulleana, my goodness, I love you. I want this Hoya both for the flowers and for the leaves. I do believe that this Hoya went under the accession number IM02, and there is another IM Hoya in this list, and it is really, really beautiful. It has a white flower, and the flower reminds me a lot like Hoya curtisi, which has not yet bloomed for me, so let's just hope that that will come soon. Maybe this year it will actually happen. But this Hoya also has very beautiful leaves. They kind of remind me of Hoya serpents, but thinner. They kind of have that shape to the leaf and kind of prominent vein, well, not prominent veining, nothing like Hoya callistophila or Hoya finlaysoni, but if you have Hoya serpents, what I mean. So it's a very, very interesting Hoya. I don't know how easy this Hoya is to find in the US. I have seen it being sold already in Europe, and it is of course available in Thailand. So I think for this Hoya you possibly will need to import it. You may be able to find it from someone who imported it last year, but it is somewhat available in Thailand. But it is just a gorgeous Hoya, and my dream is to find as many small-leaved Hoyas as possible. So not like lacunosa, but something like this, something like serpents and tengchengensis, and something like microphylla, which is finally doing better for me. She had a rough beginning there, but she is doing really well now. And let me tell you a secret. My plan is to fill out one of my Radsta cabinets. I think it would look really, really nice if we just filled the entire wall of one of the Radsta cabinets with Hoyas that have small leaves. So I really think this should happen for me. So, give me a thumbs up if you agree that we need to see one of the Radsta cabinets filled with small-leaved Hoyas. The second Hoya on this list is something that I have not seen for sale, and actually I have only seen one photo, and not a very good photo. I'm just gonna say it's not a great photo. Not a shade to anyone who took the photo. It is a beautiful Hoya, and I totally understand why we may not have better photos. This is Hoya epedunculata. This Hoya was mentioned in the same paper by Michele Roda and Natalie Simonson, where they mention Hoya evelinae, which is a Hoya I might have, ? I did get it under the name Apoda, but I do believe it could be evelinae. And actually, I don't know why I didn't bring it. It is in bloom. Hold on. So this is possibly my Hoya evelinae, and you can see she has a beautiful white flower. We have 3 flowers open right now and more on the way. I don't know how well we can see it. We're kind of struggling with the light as always, so I will insert some photos. So this Hoya, potentially, if it is Hoya evelinae, was published in the same paper where I saw Hoya epedunculata. There is only one photo, which I will attach here, and I have looked all over the internet to see if someone is selling this Hoya, and I have not been able to find someone who is. So it may be that this Hoya is simply not, as of yet, in circulation. I'm sure that someone has it, but for whatever reason, maybe it's difficult to grow. I'm not quite sure, but it is beautiful. It seems to me like it has the same shape of the flower like Hoya eveline or apoda, whatever it is that I have. But to me, it seems to be the same type of flower, but a bit velvety, a bit of fuzzy, you know. It seems to me that the flower is just a bit thicker. And I want it. I really, really want it because I will tell you, the flower on my Hoya is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful Hoya flowers. It is really something that I like. It is very delicate. I adore white flowers, and this has just a bit of pink, but it is really the shape of this flower that I love, and it reminds me a bit of Hoya retusa, it reminds me a bit of Hoya patella, and those are one of my favorite Hoya flowers. I just love to have them in bloom, and I never get bored of them. Even when my retusa has had so many flowers on it, I was never really bored with it. I just adore it. So for that reason, and that reason alone, I would love to have Hoya epedunculata. So I don't really care that it is rare or uncommon. I actually don't care about any of these being rare or uncommon, but all of them have something that I really like, something different, something that I'm seeing potentially for the first time, or something that is unlike other things that I have in my collection. So this is kind of similar, maybe, from, you know, the photo that we can see to the Hoya that I already have, but just that thicker flower, or I assume it is thicker flower, more succulent maybe, is something that I really, really, really want. The next Hoya on this list is Hoya acuminata, and oh my gosh, Hoya acuminata is beyond words, beyond words. And I do think I say that a lot, but it is absolutely stunning. Just the shape of the flower, it looks like a star, not like Hoya eveline, but it's just more delicate. It's kind of like star crossed with a spider, which is just a very weird description. See, I should not really write books. Not that I am writing a book, but you know, it's not a thing for me. We should just stay away from writing that. Though, maybe fiction would be good, because a cross between a star and a spider. I just love the almost translucent corona, or at least from the photos, it looks to me like it is a bit translucent. I just love that velvety texture to the corolla. It looks really, really nice. I know that it is a bit more on the expensive side. I think depend where you look for it, and on the size of the plant, it can set you back from 140 to potentially even 300 euros. So that's a lot. That's a lot. She is definitely beautiful, and I would not mind even getting one small cutting and then growing it out, because it is something that I would love to have. And this Hoya is again something that you can definitely buy. So unlike Hoya epedunculata, which I'm struggling to say each time, this is something that is actually obtainable. The next Hoya on this list is something that has also been published this year. This is Hoya kaikoeana, or again, I keep saying this year, last year. Both flowers and the leaves of this Hoya remind me a lot of Hoya scortechini, and Hoya scortechini is just a Hoya that I really, really like. I have two different clones of Hoya scortechini. I have not had them in bloom yet, but you just have to get Hoya scortechini to actually appreciate it. There is something about that leaf when you see it in person. I tried to take photos before. I think I have a photo of Hoya scortechini leaf on Instagram that just, you know, it looks like starry night. It is so, so beautiful, and it's so nice to the touch. So it is really Hoya that I love. So I think Hoya kaikoeana would be a very nice addition to my collection. So in this case, it is something like, you know, a Hoya that I already have, but because I love that Hoya so much, I of course want to add this to my collection as well. And again, this is a Hoya that you can buy. I have seen it for sale. All of these Hoyas that are new usually cost around 150 euros. Some will cost a bit more, and over time the price will drop. But you know, when they are released into the circulation, that's usually, you know, kind of the starting price. But again, when they become more common, the price does come down. But I just have to say, I really love the contrast on the flower between the corolla and the corona, and that center. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Another Hoya on this list is again something that has been published in 2022. I did not make a mistake this time, and this is Hoya peltata. It reminds me a lot of Hoya medinillifolia, not for the flowers, but just the shape of the leaves, and it appears to me that it has similar succulency. Of course, I don't know if this is true or not because I have not seen it in person. I have not seen any of these in person. I'm just, judging from the photos. I have only seen a couple of photos of the flowers, so I don't know if it actually flowers only with one flower or does it get more. It's possible that it only gets one flower, but it is just very, very different than the rest of the Hoyas. The next Hoya is something that I have not seen for sale. I do have a version of this Hoya and she is struggling. Thank you very much for being on the struggle bus. So I actually don't really know why my Hoya is struggling, and we are talking about Hoya medinillifolia. It looks as if it got too much light. It has stopped growing. I actually think it needs to be repotted. So I actually wanted to give you a quick update on that Hoya medinillifolia because she is doing much better. So we are now in my grow tent. As you can see, we have the Mars hydrolite and all of the plants are doing really well, but I noticed that that plant did not like to be on this top shelf. As you can see, they are really getting a lot of light. We have my Hoya undulata, Hoya UT033. We have my Hoya species range Orflasia in bloom with beautiful flowers, and Hoya scortikini is about to bloom here. Just all in all, great growth. But my Hoya medinillifolia did not love the light. She was here on this top shelf and I moved her actually all the way down. As you can see, I even repotted her, and you can see in some of those lower leaves that we did get too much light. She did lose a couple of leaves down there, but not a big deal because she did continue to grow and she is looking really well. We do have a peduncle even here, so hopefully she will bloom. But yeah, I would just keep her if you have a grow tent. Make sure that she's not too close to the light. She does not like it. She wants to really be somewhere in the shade. I even think this could be a good position, but I do have my seedlings here, which I will give you a video on. This is something very exciting, so stay tuned for that. What I really want to get is Hoya medinillifolia yellow form. And I know this doesn't make sense, right? You are struggling with this one, you didn't get it to bloom and you want another form of, yes, that is what I'm saying. I did not get this one to bloom and I already want a different color form. Exactly what I'm saying. Now, I'm not really sure if they call it yellow or golden. I think it might be golden form. Yeah, they call it golden form. I think that Hoya medinillifolia is also one of the Hoyas that has the most beautiful flower. The regular form that I have almost looks purplish, but kind of like with an opaque quality to it. This one seems to be more present, I guess, if that's the right way to describe it. And it is very beautiful. The contrast between the corona and the corolla is stunning. There is another Hoya on this list that has a similar contrast of colors, and I think it is gorgeous. It just reminds me, when I see this Hoya, I'm reminded of caramel for some reason, and I really want to eat caramel, so maybe I shouldn't really get it. If it's gonna make me hungry and crave caramel. If you don't like caramel, I mean, how dare you? I don't know if this Hoya will become available in 2023 or not. Sometimes different color forms take a while. I know that Hoya Loki Yellow, I have not seen that one for sale yet. I'm sure there is some for sale, but I was really expecting that we are going to see that Hoya in 2022. I also think that the issue with Hoya medinillifolia is getting it from Thailand to Europe or to United States, because Hoya medinillifolia ain't the shipping Hoya. She does not love to be shipped. My Hoya medinillifolia is from Camilla, and I think she cut it on the day of the shipping, or maybe the day before shipping, and shipping only took 1 day, so I paid for UPS Express overnight shipping, which is a lot, and it was delivered to me the next day. So it spent like a day in the box, and maybe it was like cut for 2 days, but that's nothing. That's really nothing. But when it arrived, it was already losing the firmness a bit. It is just also very, very thin, so it actually may be a while before this one, makes it over to Europe alive, and then someone has to grow it out and get it into circulation population. I don't think a lot of people will have just a lot of success purchasing this Hoya from Thailand, Indonesia, and getting all of them across the line. We might need to wait a bit, but that's fine. I think she's definitely worth the wait. The next Hoya on this list is something that I have. I have not seen it bloom. It's kind of stupid saying this, but I do believe it is my favorite Hoya. Maybe not for the leaf, but for the flower. It is just, I felt something very special move inside of me. And it was not food, when I saw the photos of this Hoya in bloom in Summer Rain Oaks' video when she visited the late Toril Nyhouse. We saw the flowers of Hoya paradisea. So I'm talking about Hoya paradisea, formerly NS11159. You can still keep the accession number with Hoya paradisea. And this was published finally this year, so it took 11 years to actually publish this Hoya since collecting. But it is just a beautiful Hoya, and the one that I want that is kind of new is with pink flower. Here comes the issue. I have only seen this Hoya with Sarisa from Thailand, and what she said about this makes me think that this is probably not going to be easy to find, because she said that she kept this form for cross-pollination and that only very little of it has been sent to some of her friends. So it will spread, but I think it will spread very, very slowly. Luckily for me, I do know someone who has it already, so I might be able to get it in the next year. Depends how fast it grows. For me, actually, the Hoya paradisea, the white flower, has been very, very fast to grow. Not blooming, but grows really fast. But you never know. I mean, Hoya patella white and Hoya patella pink, like completely two different plants. My Hoya patella white is just, I don't want to talk about it. Next Hoya on this list is Hoya species IM08. So you remember the first one I said, Hoya pulleana, it is species IM02. This is 08. And as far as I know, this has not yet been published. Both have been called species PNG or species from Papua New Guinea. And it was a bit confusing because the leaves are kind of similar, or at least on the photos. I'm sure they actually look very different. Maybe very, very different is overstatement here, but I'm sure they do look different in person. From the photos, you can't really tell them apart that easily. And I think that's because the leaves are very small, and then it just makes that kind of thing very difficult on the photos. But the flower is absolutely different. So the first one looks more like Hoya cortesi. The second one has a very interesting flower. Again, very star looking flower, star shaped, a bit fuzzy too. Honestly, it reminds me of, I don't know why when I see this flower I'm thinking of octopuses or is that the plural of octopus? Octopi? One octopus, two octopus. I think octopus does not have a plural, right? Both octopuses and octopi are acceptable plural forms of octopus. You're welcome. You learned something new. Not what you were hoping to learn and not something that I was hoping to say, but here we are. Again, just a beautiful Hoya with a white flower. I think I may prefer the leaves on IM08 than on pulleana. I think they look a little bit more interesting. It seems to me they are with more veins. Again, this one to my knowledge has not been published yet, but you can get a hold of this Hoya. You can buy it already. It's pretty much the same price as Hoya pulleana from what I have seen online, and I think that will come down in the next, maybe not next year, but maybe the year after that, because this is still pretty uncommon in collections. But I think this will be just a great addition to my fantasy miniature Hoya Rodsta cabinet that we will definitely make at one point. So I would like to have it. I mean, it's really, I'm really getting it for you. It's basically humanitarian work, right? Because I think people will enjoy seeing miniature Hoyas in a cabinet. I mean, will I get a bit of joy from it? Perhaps. I don't know. This next Hoya is something that I think might actually be favorite on this list. It is Hoya species Indonesia. So I have seen this Hoya or a very similar Hoya under a different name, Hoya species Jabar from West Kalimantan, but I think they possibly could be the same or at least very, very similar. When I saw this Hoya, no thinking. I knew I had to have it. And you can actually buy it. It's kind of expensive, but it is just very beautiful. It's a very strange combination, in my opinion, of like flowers and the leaves. You just would not really expect this type of flower and this type of Hoya. So from the growth pattern or the growth structure, it reminds me of something like Hoya amicabilis. And the flowers, again, are completely just opposite. They remind me of Hoya lacunosa. Well, again, take that with a bit of reserve. I guess it does remind of Hoya ignorata, but just much prettier than Hoya ignorata. I just love the flowers on this one. I love the color. So as I told you, it reminds me the coloration of Hoya medinillifolia gold. So it is that same very orangey / caramel color with like a very creamy pale yellow center. It's just a beautiful contrast in my opinion. Definitely something that I truly hope to get my hands on. I really think this one is my favorite out of all of these. The next Hoya is Hoya leucantha, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Papua New Guinea. This one you again can buy. It's not terribly expensive. So I don't really know that these flowers are my favorite, nor the leaves, but there is something about the combination of the flowers with the leaves, and you will see on the photos and like the growth pattern, that is just out of this world. I think she looks very elegant. I'm looking at the photos, that's why I keep looking down. So the flowers are kind of this mix between pink and white. It does not appear to be very uniform, and they're very, very beautiful. Forms that nice ball of flowers, which again, not all of them will do. The leaves are also nice. I really have started to like thin-leaved Hoyas like a year and a half ago. Didn't take a long time for me to love thin-leaved Hoyas, and I think this is something that not a lot of people love, at least when you start out. You know, no one really gets the thin-leaved Hoyas, but when you start getting them and when they start growing and blooming, they're really just something else. That is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I would like to know which of these Hoyas are on your wish list. Have you heard of them before, or this is the first time that you are hearing about them? I think probably not, because also recently in Hoya groups, as soon as Hoyas get published, it seems that now people stay on top of it. They just release that publication or share it in the group, so I think we all kind of know what's new. But if you didn't know, perfectly fine. That is why I am here, to tell you about all the different new Hoyas that you can spend your money on. You're welcome. If you have a Hoya on your wish list that you think I should know about, and potentially you think I don't know about, but I probably do, but maybe you don't, let me know down in the comments below, because it may be something that I want to add to my wish list. And of course, I would love to hear what is on your wish list for 2023. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, well, you absolutely need to be subscribed, because how else are you going to find out about new Hoyas? Not by Googling, for sure. I hope you all had a wonderful celebration, the welcoming, or whatever, anticipation, that's not the word, of the new year. I hope that you spent a lovely time, either by yourself or with people that are significant in your life, or with Hoyas, because that's also perfectly fine. I do not judge. And I just wish all of us a much better 2023, because we need it. We need it. So let's just, keep our focus and say that this is going to be the best year ever. I'm most likely going to regret saying that in the December of 2023. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Goodbye! I would like to take some time to thank my patrons. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 3 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne-Margaret Moen, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Ann C., Ashley Hoyas, Beth Gibson, Betsy Begonia, Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Deanne Sikorsky, Farah, Gina Geise, Go Green Tropical, Houseblend Heather, Hoya Heather, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Koo, Kelso, Kristen Sherwood, Leplan De Steph, Mandy Milliken, Mars B., Martina Leaf per day, Marty Miller, Melissa Walker, Nicole Ferranti, Mirka Grun-Roos, Snaily Yang, Nicole Moreau, Nicole and Caleb of Schleif Tropicals, Nita Macy, PJ, Robin L. Jennings, Sherry Kumar, Stephanie H2O, Stephanie Zeely May, Sybil Williams, Tanya, Tessa Martins, the Swedish Hoya Noob, TJWO, Wendy Foreman, Wendy Rossman, and Zlokov Niponi. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons: Angelina Farnan, Anne Margaret, Anna K, Branna B, Branna Phillips, Kilone, Christina Greengrass, Claudia L, Fluffy Blue Sheep, Jerry's Garden, Lisa Helling, Morgan Kennedy, Nella, Nerdy Kathy, Plant Druid, Plantolania, Ringlov, and Tang Watana Sriakul. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: Brandon Pacheco, Kari, Carrie, Constance, Jacinta, Jolie Sullivan, Lauren M., Lori Ann Subramaniam, Luzman Fernandez, Neely Spicer, Olivia Chin-Muller, and Paula Plans. Thank you all so much for incredible support. I hope that you had a wonderful time during the holidays. I wish you all the best in this year. Stay safe, and I will see you soon.